and get better at this. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you will really be able to achieve your goals. So, placing a long order here. Short order there. Using a stop loss of 36 points is maybe a little bit. I use 40 or something like that. Okay, so I have to adjust the. There you go. 11 seconds. And we are open. Okay. Oh, filled long already. Oops, look at this rejection. Bloody hell. What's happening? Ooh. What a violent open. So we just closed the gap. And now hopefully not trading lower immediately. Okay, Daxi, come on. Okay, we'll delete the short order. We'll post here that I'm long the DAX. So, okay. Thinking I'm taking like 25 points. Close DAX. Close DAX. DAX closed. So, have to ease myself in. Okay, so let's see how much I got out of it. 23 points. Okay. 23. That was probably 65 or something. So then let's take a look at the market structure. Yesterday's session, I didn't trade it, but interesting nonetheless. So I have a large opening candle range here. So the low came in at 854 and the high at 934. That's like what, 80 points. But it closed at 97. So still above the midpoint. But here considerable upper shadow. And then there was just no follow through for the bulls. Basically, DAX trapped in a range, out of which it broke out here with this candle, starting at 1040. That's set in motion here. This bull push that culminated here at in the high of 24,989, and then again no more follow through for the bulls. And then we retraced back down here. And to where did we retrace? The low here comes in at 866. And look here, the opening candle, the open was at 867. So we came down basically to where the DAX opened, pretty much to the point. So then messy bear channel slash range, and then at 4 in the afternoon with a really nice push upward, and DAX closed at 1730 with at 25,011. And the high of the session, which also roughly coincides with the 1210 high here, came in at 986. So I marked that down here. And the overnight high here at 106. So let's take a look. Oh, wow. So first bar negative in the FTSE issued a buy signal at 10,564. FTSE opened at 596. So that's 11 point higher than it closed yesterday. We already filled the gap and traded lower. And now here's also some sort of around 12 a.m. high that gave support so far. DAX again coming down. Again, no follow through for the bulls. Very messy. Thinking if I should skip it in the FTSE. DAX is, so we can maybe. How does Tom draw those lines? For the espresso, probably L tool. Ah. Oh, okay. Always has those fancy lines. So what I want to do here is the overnight low came in here. I want to mark that down here. So that's our overnight low. Overnight is basically, I call overnight everything between sessions, right? So not to be confused with the overnight range that usually is between midnight and 8 a.m. But since we made this move down here, I wouldn't know how to draw that. So, and I keep this line because that was the old session high and that support around here. How do we call it? So, like so. Okay, so we have some orientation. So history seems to repeat itself. Strong start for the DAX, and now no follow through for the bulls. FTSE hasn't really triggered yet the first bar negative. Thing is with the FTSE, other than the DAX, who at least made an effort to fool us, you know, the FTSE is just heading lower. So DAX on the daily chart. Yeah. With some, certainly in some bull channel here. This all-time high area up here. This was a terrible sideways movement. Yesterday, strong close. Usually when you have, see when DAX here on the daily chart retraces, don't know if that means anything, but the last two times we made, let's assume we make a, this was the swing low here and we're heading higher. So we had one strong bull candle, and then we had this doji. Here again, more or less strong bull candle, one doji. So that would mean that today might see something like that we trace a little bit to about session mid, right? Previous day mid, and then push higher or something like that. So let's see if this is the previous session low and the previous session high is pretty much where DAX closed, right? We can probably agree on that. So let's see if 25,011 plus 24,817. We divide that by 2. So that means the mid comes in at 914. Well, let's mark that down. No. FTSE, I mean, there is support. So maybe with the first bar negative setup, we would buy that support. The problem that I have now is that the market tested it already 1, 2, 3 times, roughly. And at one point, it might do the opposite, right? I think I'm staying away from the FTSE. So guys, there was that Macau event, and then I traded for a little bit, and now I'm back from vacation with my family. It's my first day really on the screen. Didn't trade on vacation, so have to ease myself in here a little bit. I also feel the exhaustion that it took to travel back, but fairly enjoyable. Okay. Okay. Support worked in the FTSE. Okay, we wouldn't have triggered anyway. Sometimes you just simply buy support. Look at that old high here. This is not a first bar negative setup, just by looking at the DAX, that seemed to have been an important high in the 12 or noon hour. You see, pretty much reacted to that here. Here's the old close from yesterday at 585. A magnet like that can act as support and resistance. Certainly didn't do at the first candle, just shot right through. But now could act as resistance. So might deflect price here back down. This doesn't strike me as an easy session today. Bulls now trading above prior bar high, but inside the range of the body of the first candle. Funnily enough. A few more points in it, huh? Certainly bulls making an attempt to break that old pattern here. Too many lines. So we managed to close above previous session close. We're still trading within the confinements of candle number 1. Aggressive school run would dictate a long above 4. Holding off. Okay, FTSE now marching on. See? So I was wrong in my fear that this would trade lower. However, I also don't need to feel bad because we wouldn't have gotten filled here if I put an order in here. Right? So that would never have touched it. But you see, we are also still here trading within the confinements of the very first 5-minute bar. So it took like 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. And we're not even back up here. We're now trading at where I exited the espresso. Aggressive screw run long would be slightly in profit. DAX looking strong now. Stronger. See if we get it to make a new high. So far the high of the day is at 38.6, currently trading at 32. FTSE now retracing below yesterday's close. Body of the current bar number 5, very small. Long upper shadow, 5 seconds to go. Not even managed to close above previous bar. However, the DAX high came in at 38.6. This high was 38.5. 38.5, so we didn't make a new high, but 5 closed at its highs. So now we are trading below the entry point of the aggressive screw run, now bouncing off of that. So we could take a speculative long position here in half size. And now it's running away. Okay. Why don't we just put an... Ah, okay. There it is. Breaking out now, making new highs. Wanted to take a long position. I'm still a little slow. And there it goes. That sucks. Dick for a tick. So FTSE also making new highs. Let's buy the FTSE instead. I thought I bought the FTSE. Yeah. Long the FTSE. So 10, 5, 9, 8. Buying the high of the day. Like an idiot. Stop is 25 points lower. 10, 5, 7, 3.6. Okay. Switching to a 15-minute chart. Waiting for the school run. We'll probably buy the DAX as well. So let's see if we get... How do I... Ah. Okay. There you go. Can I switch that? Reverse views. Okay. I want to have the FTSE to the left. I don't know why. It's just an old man with his habits. So 5-minute chart on the left on the FTSE, 15-minute on the DAX on the right. Waiting for the FTSE to close. Would love to see a close above 5 and at least above its midpoint. Otherwise I will probably just get out again. Good enough. Take that. So I will put in an order to trade the Skuran long. So let's see. Okay. Not an easy session, ladies and gentlemen. Almost came back down to the entry of the aggressive Skuran again. Yeah, pretty much. It's a deep retracement. Stand by to close the FTSE, closing FTSE. Closed FTSE. So that didn't really follow through. And the DAX also now prints an inside bar so far. overnight resistance here. That's the high, but the bulk of the candles is where price has reacted to. Now's the question. Will this be a retracement? The age-old question. Or will we see DAX trading lower? So far, DAX has pretty much ignored the closing price of last session. Was passing through. Oh, maybe it's support now. Remember, screw run long, aggressive screw run long came in above the high of 4. Classical screw run long was never triggered. Okay. My